Alabama's WVUA News at 10 with your award-winning news team. John Huddleston, weather with Richard Scott, and sports with Gary Harris.
Good evening. Residents of a Northport neighborhood voiced concerns today after someone spray-painted gang lingo throughout their subdivision. Most residents don't view this as gang activity, but rather as a childhood prank gone too far, crossing the line into vandalism. WVUA's Bradley Whittington starts us off tonight from Northport.
I don't feel like there's any gang activity at all in our neighborhood.
But you wouldn't know that when driving through the Clear Creek neighborhood. On fences, sidewalks, even houses and cars, the phrase blood gang has been spray painted. But residents don't believe it was a gang, only local teens.
I feel like that it is kids with time on their hand and, looking for something to do and doing the wrong thing and getting into trouble.
And with local schools getting out for summer, that leaves kids with a lot of spare time. The YMCA's Relation and Marketing Director, Raquel Walker, says keeping your kids busy is key.
As long as they have something to do to keep their mind off of whatever, a sport to focus on, goals to focus on, reading programs to focus on, encouraging things to keep them, and that's the ticket. That's really the ticket.
Walker says not being able to pay for a summer camp or program should never be a reason to not participate.
No child is denied a program at the YMCA due to an inability to pay. We definitely are here to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build healthy mind, body, and spirit. And that is what's going to keep kids out of trouble.
Whether they are playing ball or some kind of activities at the Y or whatever, they just need to have some kind of constructive, reinforcement for them to do every day instead of, looking for trouble to get into.
Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Bradley Whittington, WVUA News.
And the YMCA summer camp begins May 28th. The cost is $85 a week. If you cannot afford that, they do have scholarships available. The deadline to apply for those is June 1st. Well, on your education watch tonight, the search for the next superintendent for Tuscaloosa County continues. School board members want to extend the search for the next superintendent. Now, according to Tuscaloosa County board member Mark Nelson, the board wants to make sure the new superintendent is the right fit. They plan to meet with the Association of School Boards search team to find other options. The board had narrowed the search down to 5 candidates, but Nelson says they're looking for someone with a deep resume.
The majority of the board was expecting or hoping certainly that we would have candidates with more superintendent experience. I think one of the criteria that every board member had was a superintendent with experience and experience in taking a system to another level.
And Nelson told us the school board is pleased with interim superintendent Dan Butler's performance this far, and they are looking to see how long they can extend his position while they search for a permanent replacement. Meanwhile, some Tuscaloosa County teachers are looking for new jobs after being let go today. Around 40 educators who signed a one-year contract with the county school system received non-renewal letters this morning from the school board. They were not renewed because each year the number of teachers the school system will have is determined by the previous year's student enrollment numbers. Senior Director of Human Resources, Steve Benson, hopes some of the dismissals are only temporary.
Our hopes would be that some of the good teachers that we had to release will be picked up by some of the schools whose enrollment has increased and has the ability to hire new teachers.
Meanwhile, in other news tonight, new jobs are coming to Pickens County. The Federal Bureau of Prisons is building a new women's prison. The new Federal Correction Institution of Aliceville is looking for employees. They're holding a job information fair tomorrow. Officials say the jobs range from physicians to correctional officers. The fair starts at 10 a.m. at Aliceville City Hall and runs until 5:30. Officials say the warden and other prison officials will be available for questions. A prison guard is dead and 16 others were injured in a prison riot that broke out in Mississippi. 300 inmates took over a correctional facility in Adams County at the privately owned prison that houses illegal immigrants. Adams County Sheriff Chuck Mayfield says gang activity sparked the riot. Inmates beat a 24-year-old senior correctional officer to death and injured 16 others. According to Mississippi officials, the riot is still under investigation. Well, for a task that usually takes months, sometimes even years, one organization in Tuscaloosa only needs 1 week. Habitat for Humanity kicked off their Blitz build today for Patrice Johnson and her family. Their home was destroyed by the April 27th tornado. And this week, firefighters from here in Tuscaloosa are donating their time to give another family a fresh start. WVUA's Courtney Highfield has more.
Patrice Johnson and her family lost their house in the April 27th tornado, and they're finally getting a new home and a new beginning. Johnson says there are no words to describe how happy she is.
It's just, I'm happy. It's a blessing. It's overwhelming because it's so much. I mean, it's just crazy. It's going to be one crazy week.
In the days and weeks following the storm, local firefighters played a huge role in the recovery effort, and now they want to be a part of the rebuilding effort.
The firefighters were involved in the response, and we've been involved in the recovery and the cleanup and all that. So this is just an opportunity for us to help these folks build their life back and build them a nice home.
In an area that was heavily devastated by the April 27th tornado, volunteers say they hope even the sight of a house being rebuilt will help bring life back to Alberta.
There's several homes going up right here in this area, as you can see, and I know there's a lot of plans for Alberta, and we want to make sure that Alberta comes back better than ever.
Johnson and her family will be able to move into their new home by the end of June. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Courtney Highfield, WVUA News.
And you can learn more about the Building Blitz at Habitat Tuscaloosa's website. For a shortcut, just go to our website, WVUATV.com, and click on Numbers and Links. Meanwhile, the city of Tuscaloosa's final push to remove debris for free will end June 1st. Since the April tornado, the city has utilized volunteer efforts and FEMA assistance programs to help clean up those places designated as tornado recovery areas. Again, if you live in one of those zones and still have debris, June 1st is the deadline to have the city move your debris at no cost to you. Well, a tropical storm off the coast of the Carolinas and a trend of climbing temperatures. So what's it all mean for us? Here's Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott with the first look at Alabama's home team forecast. Hey, Richard.
Hey, John, good Monday evening to you. No tropical activity to talk about around here, but we do have some thunderstorms on radar. In fact, a strong storm over portions of Lamar County and Marion County this evening up Highway 17 from about Vernon to Detroit to the city of Hamilton right now. And seeing some heavy rain, a lot of cloud ground lightning. This cell's moving off towards the south and east. It's about 20 to 30 miles per hour, but the rest of the area is fairly dry for the moment. That will change later on tonight as more scattered storms develop northwest of us and drift in from the northwest. But it's not going to be a deal where it rains all night. Some spots not going to see a drop of rain. This activity will remain scattered. By tomorrow, we dry out. Going to be a pleasant day overall. Low humidity. We're talking low 80s for afternoon highs by 4 o'clock. Plenty of sun for our Tuesday. How about your weekend forecast? Very hot stuff to talk about. Your forecast is coming up.
It's a national conference focusing on science. Some of the best and brightest are in attendance, and it's happening here in West Alabama. The conference is looking at reforms in the classroom. Researchers from universities and colleges in more than 25 states are taking part in the conference. Organizers say the project is focusing on teaching undergraduate science and its impact on student learning outcomes.
We're looking at faculty to share methods of how they're changing their classrooms, how they're creating reforms in their classes, so that the diverse groups of students that attend the classes are all achieving at a high level.
The National Study of Education Undergraduate Sciences is funded by the National Science Foundation grant and the University of Alabama Office of Research. In tonight's Health Watch, an update now on the changes to Medicaid in Alabama. Local health experts are speaking out about what this could mean for West Alabama health care. A few of the changes include a 10% reduction in payments to certain providers, including doctors and dentists. Benefits to children will not change. One big change, though, is concerning prescriptions. Only one brand-name drug per month will be covered. Generic drugs and over-the-counter medicines will still be covered. Deborah Tucker with the Maud Watley Health Center says these changes have put physicians in a difficult place.
Physicians will be placed in the position of choosing one over the other, even when they know